how to get, let's say, big arms or huge biceps or huge triceps. Henny Rambod, who is one of the best bodybuilding coaches out there. I'm about 119 kilograms at the moment. What is up, guys? Back with you again with another video. Just getting ready to go to the gym. It's Sunday. I just came back from the church, so just mixing up a quick sort of natural pre-workout. I've got my beetroot extract, which I have spoken about in my previous video. So just having a cup of coffee, my beetroot extract, and I've got something else which I have spoken about in my previous videos as well, and also on my story on Instagram. So I'm taking honey, natural honey, with some sea salt, right? So it's just something that I found works quite well when it comes to, you know, achieving pumps and just having like that natural sustained energy, because obviously sugar contents found in honey are quite beneficial. So it helps to prolong pre-workouts. I don't really take much. It's just the honey is dripping. It's just a little bit like that. And yeah, just take a spoonful, 1 tablespoon of honey. Honey's been dripping quite a bit. So 1 tablespoon of honey combined with some sea salt. Salt in general, I mean, sodium helps the pumps quite well. So I don't know how your diet's like, if you've been having like cheat days or cheat meals, and if you had some food that's quite high in sodium, if you're able to manipulate sodium quite well. So for example, your sodium intake is normal and then you suddenly increase the intake of sodium, it allows more water retention, you know? So more water is able to reach the muscles, therefore you can get a better quality pump. So today I'm doing arms in a gym, just arms. It's not gonna be like a long workout. I've been working out quite a lot this week. Muay Thai combined with weight training, some plyometrics, cardio. So it's been a lot of training going this week. So today is more like a, you know, moderate pace workout. I might do some cardio maybe in the end, but it's gonna be a quick arm workout, just biceps and triceps. And also I'm interested to show you guys how you can do cardio, arms with free weights without the machines, right? Because some of you might not have access to a gym, for example. Some of you might have a home gym but have no cables, right? So a lot of people think in order to, let's say, train triceps or train biceps and isolate them, you really need the cables. Yeah, cables do help and they target the muscles quite effectively. So if you want the best type of training, that can obviously be achieved in a gym, or if you have, let's say, cable machines. If you don't, you can still have a decent and a good quality workout just with free weights, which includes barbell and dumbbells, right? It's just about the exercises and the angles you're able to hit and the way you exercise the muscle, the way you isolate the muscle, right? From different angles, because obviously tricep has 3 heads and the bicep has 2 heads, hence names tri and bi, right? So yeah, today we're gonna be hitting some arms, empty stomach again. It's about 12:30 at the moment, so I'll have my breakfast or lunch after I finish my training. I mean, empty stomach is just 1 tablespoon of honey with some sea salt, so it's not really in a fasted state, but still fairly empty stomach. So I've been getting quite leaner recently as well. I've been doing quite a lot of cardio, like 3-4 times a week. So trying to up the cardio as it's quite warm outside, you know, beach bodies 2024, but I try and stay fairly lean throughout the year, so I don't really go through rigorous cutting and bulking seasons. I try and stay lean throughout the year, but in the summer, naturally, I just get leaner because I tend to eat slightly less. I tend to eat more fruits. I try to eat like in a seasonal way, so in the summer, it's more fruit, more liquids. And yeah, in winter, I tend to crave more fatty foods. It's just the natural way I feel, you know. You can always adapt the way your body feels, and you can train the way your body feels as well. I feel like I'm naturally stronger in winter, and in the summer, I want to be more active. I want to like do more cardio, do more functional type of training as well. And that's what keeps me in shape all year round, you know. Strength gains and lean gains, both combined, I find it as being the best form of training for myself. I don't know how it is the best preferable way for you to train, but either way, you can always combine, you can always change it up, you can always implement new workouts, different workouts to make it more interesting for you so you can stick to the workouts. So I'll finish my coffee now and I'll see you guys in the gym. All right, folks, so we're here in the gym, back to the CrossFit area, and we're just gonna start with some barbell curls. So just doing a quick warm-up. Well, I've actually started my warm-up already, so we're just gonna do about 3 sets, 2 sets, 3 sets with an empty bar, just warming up the muscles, lubricating the joints. And we're gonna go into our working sets. All right, so the first set, about 40 kilos. Yeah, good working set. Just try and take it slow when I begin. Don't go into failure. Failure usually tends to happen towards last sets, as I've mentioned before. So just trying really slow, still engaging with the warm-up, incrementing the weight slightly depending on the exercise. I think I'll keep it 40 on this bar now. I'll try and go for higher reps this time, and hopefully that honey and salt will help us to achieve better pumps. So I've got my last 4th set on the barbell curl. All right, it was a good set, definitely feeling slight pump. So we're gonna be doing biceps, triceps, biceps, triceps. So we'll try and differentiate between exercises. I superset it sometimes. Sometimes I do biceps and triceps at the same time, but today I feel like I don't wanna superset as much, so still keeping the rest about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. So the sets are pretty quick. The rest in between is not very significant, so try and keep it intense this time. Okay, so the next exercise we're gonna do is skull crushers, but with the dumbbells, or triceps extensions with the dumbbells. You can do a different variation with a barbell if you feel like it. I prefer the easy bar, but in this CrossFit area they don't have easy bar. It's in the gym, in the weights area. So I try and differentiate between barbell and dumbbells, and I feel like it hits different angles each time, depending on your control, how you stretch the muscle, how you contract it. So we're gonna start off with the dumbbells and control each rep. You can twist it like that, or you can extend it like this. Depending on how you feel. If you feel better extending it this way, please do. If you feel better extending this way, you can do it even like that. And fully extend your elbows so you can get full contraction of those triceps. Well, speaking about triceps always been one of those muscle groups that were lacking a bit for me. I had better bicep genetics. As you know, our body biological makeup is mostly genetical. So I never had like really, bulging biceps like some guys do. I had better bicep genetics, but the triceps, it required an extra work, if you know what I mean. But it still doesn't discourage you from still working hard, still excelling in whatever you do. So yeah, just gonna do 4 sets of triceps extensions, aka skull crushers in this case. And yeah, we're gonna jump to another exercise. All right, so we've got our last set pending. And a lot of the people have this concern on how to get, let's say, big arms or huge biceps or huge triceps. Now, the arms are fairly small muscle group, right? Arms are fairly small compared to, let's say, legs or backs, right? The major muscle groups. So the smaller the muscle group is, the more often you can train it because it doesn't take too long to recover. So essentially, if you want to have big arms, you can train it 2-3 times a week. Obviously, given like 1 to 2 days rest in between. What I personally like doing, I like to involve arms in accessory work with, let's say, chest or back, even when I do shoulders, right? So you can always combine arms with major muscle groups, right? I don't really do arms with legs or shoulders with legs, only because I feel like when I'm working my legs, all the blood flow is in the bottom of my body. So I just want to keep it there. When I train my upper body, I know all the blood flow will be in my upper body. Now I can involve different muscle groups like chest with biceps or with triceps, depending on how you feel at that particular moment, right? So yeah, like you don't really have to make it a rocket science when it comes to training arms. Train them frequently, isolate them because it's a small muscle group, so you can isolate them pretty well. And that's it, you'll be absolutely fine, Just when you do, let's say, barbell curls, try not to rock your shoulders, don't engage your shoulders, try and isolate as much as you can, and you'll definitely feel the pump, and you'll be working your arms. And obviously, it takes a lot of time, plus the biological markup of our body determines, your genetics determine how big your arms can potentially get if you're training naturally, right? So let's jump on the last set. I feel like when it comes towards the last reps, when I feel like my muscles already fatigued, I try and slower the reps so I can fatigue them even further, taking them closer and closer and closer to failure. So yeah, you really have to feel the way you exercise and the way you establish that mind and muscle connection, because the mind cannot wonder about different things in life, right? Whereas I see many guys, they come to the gym and they worry about things outside of the gym. Like, dude, if you're coming to the gym, treat this time as a gift for yourself, to run away from the world, to run away from society, run away from everything. Just dedicate this time as like you would for meditation or prayer. Dedicate this time to be with yourself, to work on yourself, to develop yourself. It's a moment of personal development where you can establish that mind and muscle connection. You allow the endorphin rush. You allow your mood to be elevated, you know? So it's really something that you have to learn as you go through it. Some people get it straight away, and some people need to work towards it, depending on how dedicated you are and how committed you are to physical training, you know? So I would highly recommend running away from everything and just really focusing your mind, dedicating that 1 hour, or depending on how long you exercise, dedicating that time just to be with yourself, exercise, invest that time in yourself, and I guarantee the results will show. The fruits of your labor will show, definitely. All right, so the next exercise we have is the incline dumbbell curls. I feel like this exercise allows to stretch your biceps at probably the best angle, whereas contraction would be if your arms are elevated, like here. But the stretch, if you can stretch it beyond the chest, I think it gives you one of the best stretches. And if you are properly hydrated, if you have enough nutrients in your body, I feel like you will definitely feel the pump with this exercise if you perform it correctly and isolate the muscles. So let's go. Nice. Now, when I perform this exercise, my shoulders my elbows are slightly flared out, so they're not tucked in. I flare them out. So the curl is on a slight angle. The curl is not here. It's not like you perform, let's say, dumbbell curls. I try and keep it on a slight angle outwards. So it helps me to, I believe, and it feels that way, it helps me to achieve a better stretch and a better contraction. And it feels like my elbows are isolated more as well. So just a personal preference. It's something that I actually, when I went to Body Power, I think in 2017 or 2016, I spoke with Hani Rambod, who was one of the best bodybuilding coaches out there. He was a coach for Jeremy Buendia and many other good bodybuilders. Actually, Jeremy Buendia was in Body Power in Birmingham at that time. So I spoke with Hani Rambod because I've always struggled with my arms, and I spoke to him and asked him what exercise apart from, let's say, the standard barbell curls he would recommend. And he said, incline dumbbell curls, you know, but keep them on a slight angle. So instead of keeping it tucked in, you flare them out slightly. And I said, okay, that's quite interesting. I'll try and implement. And since that day, I have been doing incline dumbbell curls exactly on that angle. And it feels great each time. So if you haven't tried it before, I would highly recommend just flare them out slightly and allow full contraction and full stretch of your biceps. Like, hey, your arms will definitely be grateful for that. All right, so we have the last set. Whew. Yeah, the biceps definitely feeling fatigued right now. So yeah, just gonna crack on with the rest of the exercises. All right, so the next exercise we're gonna do is some bench dips, or if you're at home or a personal gym and you don't have cables, don't have squat rack, you finished your dumbbell extensions or skull crushers, you can always do this old school but very effective exercise. Yeah, so really good for the triceps, works all the heads. If you need more resistance, you can always add extra weight. You can add either a few plates or a dumbbell if you have it. And yeah, just add more resistance. Or if you have family members, brothers, sisters, siblings, whatever, you can use them as extra weight, you know. Just put a plank on your legs, say, look, sit down. I'll have to do some triceps extend, some dips, you know. And yeah, it's gonna work. Really effective exercise, really good. One of the old school exercises, you can use body weight or you can use resistance with some extra weight on your legs. So if you wanna use extra weight, just add a few plates or one plate, depending on how much resistance you can handle. And make sure the plates don't fall. Full extension. Full extension. And that's it. Fairly easy, fairly effective. Really good for the triceps. I'm really feeling it today on this exercise. So yeah. Okay, so the next exercise we have is some good old school hammer curls. Nice. So hammer curls is a really good exercise for mass. Just like you would do barbell curls, hammer curls is another great way for building mass on your biceps. As always, isolating the elbows. Try not to rock the weight too much. If you're rocking it, then obviously it's too heavy for you. But try and control, feel the contraction, and yeah, you'll definitely enjoy this exercise. If you haven't implemented hammer curls into your routine, I would highly recommend. It's one of the staple exercises, I would say, in your arm routine. So that's pretty much it with the workout. Just a quick physique check. Obviously been doing quite a bit of cardio, so been getting a bit leaner, but yeah, just really putting the work in. So I think there's a slight difference from a few weeks ago when I had my last physique check. But yeah, this is the result so far. I'm about 100 and maybe 19 kilograms at the moment. I just need to weigh myself, but I weighed myself the other day. So yeah, this is the physique update at the moment. Hello, ladies and gents. So we're back home from the gym. And for a post-workout meal, today we're gonna keep it for a change a little bit. We'll be having chicken, right? So I'll have about 300 grams, 330 grams of chicken thighs. And also on the side, I'll be having some Spanish chorizo sausages. Now, when it comes to meat, right, I mostly eat beef, but I like to keep a variety of different meats. Sometimes I might have, let's say, lamb. Sometimes I might have chicken. Sometimes I could even have pork, like Spanish chorizo, right? So Spain is, I think in Europe, they're the main producers and distributors of pork. Now, pork is not the first choice of meat that I usually go for. However, when it comes to, let's say, maybe chorizo or bacon sometimes, I don't mind. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still protein. So if you can get your pork from, let's say, a butcher, right? If they raise their pork without any soy or grains, I would highly recommend going for that. Non-GMO feeds, 100%, that would be the best option, right? But like in this time, I'm not sure because I got it from the supermarket and I just felt like I want something more spicy, you know? So I'll go with, I think, like 2 sausages of Spanish chorizo and also 330 grams of chicken thighs. So I'm just gonna marinate it, fry it in a pan, just keep it really, really simple. I'll probably do some sauce on the side with Greek yogurt because it's quite refreshing. I put some cucumber in it as well. So it's basically Greek yogurt mixed with a little bit of garlic, with some cucumber in it as well. So it's quite refreshing when it comes to, let's say, summer meals. I'll show you guys after I finish it how it looks like. So yeah, now just chicken, some chorizo, and that would be my post-workout meal. All right, so as my chicken is cooking, in the meantime, I'll have this fruit salad. So it's basically 1 banana, about maybe 100 grams of grapes, and 2 oranges. So, because fruits are high in fructose and also glucose, like 50-50, so it will help to replenish glycogen for carbohydrates. Because I feel like when I eat fruits, my digestion is so much better than if I ate, let's say, like rice or any other dish when it comes to carbohydrates. Definitely not grains. My body doesn't like gluten in general. I don't feel good and I just have like a bit of upset stomach whenever I eat grains. So whenever I stick to fruits, for example, like bananas, oranges, grapes, my digestion feels so much better and it also tastes nice. So yeah, this is how I try and keep it. Fruit, honey, meat, salt, some dairy sometimes as well. And yeah, just keep it pretty much basic. Now, glycogen is important because it aids the recovery. So if you are, let's say, like endurance athlete or even into bodybuilding, you'll need glycogen to be replenished in your muscles anyway. It helps the pump, it pulls water into your muscles, and also it pulls nutrients. And also it helps to promote human growth hormone as well because of insulin spike and everything else. So carbohydrates are an important part of your diet, right? Now it depends how you get your carbohydrates. I like to get mine from fruit. I don't really like vegetables as much. Now, if I would have vegetables, it would probably be white rice. Well, not really vegetables, but carbohydrates, right? Let's say starchy carbohydrates. It would probably be white rice or sweet potato. I think those are two best sort of least upsetting, stomach upsetting sources of carbohydrates that I would go for. Oats, for example, really bloat me up. I don't really like it. Any form of grain, my stomach just doesn't feel like, doesn't feel good digesting it. And once you notice how good you feel, once you eat good sources of carbohydrates or good sources of food that are simple, you will notice a difference straight away on your digestion and even on your mood at the same time. So yeah, I mean, you really have to discover what really works for you, because everyone's different. Some people like to eat bread, for example, right? And they feel amazing. I like, there's a noticeable difference for me. If I have a little bit of bread, I know that my digestion is suffering, So I try and avoid these types of foods, like especially when it comes to bread. Or I would have, if I have bread at some point, let's say in a restaurant or something like that, which on rare cases happens, I would go for gluten-free option or sourdough, because my stomach feels so much better on those types of breads, especially on gluten-free, which I've noticed gluten has got. I don't really have gluten intolerance, but having gluten with especially the grains that are on the market right now, on the flour that's on the market, sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, and so many different chemicals, you definitely notice a difference. Like, for example, if it's a homemade bread from organic homemade flour, it never upsets me. And bread in different countries, I have noticed it has different effects on the way my stomach feels. So yeah, like bread in Lithuania, for example, black bread, no issues whatsoever. When it comes to white bread in either UK or Spain, I do feel a difference on my digestion. So I just try and avoid foods that upset my stomach, upset my digestion, and stick to the foods that feel the best for me. My food is ready now. So this is the sauce that I was talking about. It's basically yogurt mixed with just a tiny bit of garlic just for the taste. Then I have cucumber, some salt, and you can add some parsley if you want. Like dill works quite well, but I don't have dill at the moment. So I've used just a tiny bit of parsley just for the taste. Then I have chorizo and of course 330 grams of chicken. So that's about 70, 80, maybe even 90 grams of protein in here, all of it combined. Quite high in fat because of the chorizo and obviously the chicken thighs. But apart from that, I had my carbohydrates with the fruit salad that I've just shown you. And yeah, just gonna have my protein now. And yeah, just, like I've spoken about not eating processed food. Obviously, chorizo is processed food. if you can get your chorizo from good sources, I mean, I don't know what the actual ingredients are of this chorizo, because I don't think it's on the package that I bought. But just sometimes you just crave certain foods. And today particularly, I just wanted something like a bit more spicy, you know? I try and avoid things like pizzas and you know, takeaways and things like that. I'd rather cook my own food. And obviously when it comes to like things like chorizo, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you have to choose the lesser of two evils, right? Some food is more healthy than the other. Obviously, the more simple your meals are and the more simple your dishes are, the better you'll feel and the better quality of nutrients you will get. If you're ordering takeaway all the time, there's a high chance that the food that has been prepared for you was prepared for profit. I'm not really a sweet tooth person. I like savory foods a bit more, something more spicy, something more salty. Nothing too extra hot, but I like the spices. So yeah, and I just, sometimes you just feel a certain way. It's a weekend, it's Sunday, so I thought, why not, you know? It still helps me to stay close to my goals. I'm still moving forward. And this food, like, even to my clients that I coach online, I give them an opportunity to have meals that they like really enjoy. Although your diet should be constructed around the foods that you enjoy eating, but sometimes, you know, it's just part of human experience. You know, you crave certain food sometimes, and there's nothing wrong in eating, you know, things that you really enjoy. Because I mean, you know, it, like, dieting and lifestyle should be something that you can stick to, you know. So yeah, you just have to combine and accustom your life around it. So yeah, I mean, be my guest, but this is how I see the diet. This is how, like, your lifestyle and the diet should work. You should always construct your meals around foods that you enjoy eating the most, because if you eat the foods that you enjoy eating, you'll stick to that diet and to that lifestyle. The same goes with training as well. So yeah.